This is my part 2 here. I'm going to read Robert J. Sawyer's Calculating God, and that'll be a little bit linking into my part 3, as this is linking into my part 1 of this blog. So I'm reading page 82, 83, and a little bit there, and a little bit in 84, 85. I remember one day we were getting a demonstration from the artist responsible for many of the museum's dinosaur reconstructions. He asked our assembled group what kind of dinosaur I pointed. A serrated tooth he was showing us had come from. A carnosaur, I'd said at once. The artist had been impressed. That's right, he said. But another kid berated me later. It's carnivore, he said, not carnosaur. Carnosaur was, of course, the correct word. It was the technical name for the group of dinosaurs that included Tyrannosauruses and their kin. Most kids don't know that. Hell, most adults don't know it. But I knew it. I'd read it on a placard in the ROM's dinosaur gallery. Skipping to a different part. Of course, the new dinosaur gallery was a quarter century old now. It had opened before Christine Doherty had come to power, but she considered it a model of what our displays should be like. Don't bore the audience. Don't weigh them down with facts. Just let them gawk. Christine had a couple of daughters. They were grown now, but I often wondered if, when they were kids, she had been embarrassed at a museum. Perhaps she'd said, "Oh, Mary, that's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It lived 10 million years ago." And her daughter, or worse, some smart aleck kid like I'd been, had corrected her with information that had been written on a lengthy placard. "That's not a Tyrannosaurus, and it didn't live 10 million years ago. It's an Allosaurus, and it lived 150 million years ago." But whatever the reason, Christine Doherty hated signage that conveyed information. I wish we had the money to redo the dinosaur gallery again. I'd inherited it in its current condition. But money was scarce these days. The axing of the planetarium was hardly the only cutback. Still, I wondered how many kids we were inspiring these days. I wondered. It wouldn't be my Ricky. That would be too much to ask. Besides, he was still at the age where he wanted to be a firefighter or a police officer, and had evinced no particular interest in science. Still, when I looked at the tens of thousands of school-age children who came on field trips to the museum each year, I wondered which, if any of them, would grow up to follow in my footsteps. And for that he means not working necessarily in his field, but just becoming a scientist. And the kind of bullying that I get every day for being a thinking person is even worse than I did for getting good grades in elementary school. And I kind of wondered, why do I bother back then? And I've had ups and downs in schools, and it's mostly linked to just needing to have my social needs met and just coming up with different strategies on how to do that, being born in a non-human culture. And I've had times when I had awesome grades, and I've had time when I failed an entire session. So, and it's pretty much, people want to diagnose you with laziness or all sorts of things that are wrong instead of addressing culture's issues. And it's quite sad. It's still happening today, and it's definitely not stopping. It's getting worse in Canada. Canada is not a country that values intelligence. In fact, they're probably going to draft their immigration laws in a way to find the most suitable domesticates for their mining and oil industrial complex. So it's kind of cruel to do that to immigrants, but that's what it seems like it's gonna get.